Hey guys, welcome to Terrifying Tales. In this video we are going to represent you a story about the loved by the devil. Warning, this for 18 plus only. How it starts: the autumn sky is dark and vengeful, dominated by steaming shrouds of cloud, coiling and writhing. An unearthly caterwauling sound fills the air and the wind whips up into frenzy. It is a shrieking, keening omen of the carnage to follow as the clouds race across the sky, thrumming with the charged energy they are desperate to release. It starts with big, sopping drops of moisture, wild and indiscriminate, plump missiles of mass destruction that splatter onto the glazing. But I pay no heed as I finish drawing with my mole blood and pimpernel-drenched knife on the gray marble floor. Upon the first blast of thunder that set the gloomy night alight with a bright scintillating flare, I withdraw the knife from the ground and rise to my feet, my keen eyes taking in the roughly 9 feet in diameter circle drawn in a thick line of an old virgin tree powder, hinted with the mix of vile liquid dripping from my crimson knife. Satisfied, I squat down to gather a small sack of timber powder and a half-filled jug before making it to the center of the circle, where I carefully lower the things down and pause, recalling a certain diagram slowly materializing in my head. As I finally grasp it, I quickly bury my hand into the sack, grab a handful of powder and spill it to the ground, where I proceed to curve it in the shape required with my dripping knife, which I continuously dip into the jug to maintain its state. The triangle of evocation is the heart of my stage, thus I must make it perfect. Everything has to be perfect. With a final curve of my blade, I pull away and observe the drawing beneath me. There is only one way to find out, I mumble as I grab the remaining stuff, leaving my knife behind, and carefully hop out of the circle, aiming straight for the altar a few paces up front. The dim luminous flames of the burning candles I placed at the altar and all corners of the large squared room adequately illuminate the room, making it easier for me to move around without any difficulty. As I reach for the table where the rest of my ingredients are placed, I lower the jug on the surface and toss the sack on the floor before my hand finds its way to the book laying open on the desk. My dark orbs immediately focus on the triangular diagrams perfectly entwined together into a similar star I engraved on my floor, and I hurriedly turn around to inspect if that is indeed what I drew, and sigh with relief. I'm not bad at drawing to begin with. A strange scent, a mixture of mace, frankincense, and aloe wood dominates the room as they burn in a censer. The smog fumigates everything on the desk, causing my nose to wrinkle in distaste. Pulling myself together, I haul the warm goldish thingy up and take a step back from the altar, as I completely turn to face my stage, while my other free hand shoots up to my chest where a considerate-sized oval-shaped ruby pendant rests. My fingers softly trace it, feeling Serlin's sigil over my name's initials perfectly engraved together, and I take a deep breath as I flutter my eyes, closing them for a second or two, channeling the specks of courage. I wouldn't let myself anyways. I don't want to. Casting a glance across the room, I inwardly flinch at the sight of a bare woman in the huge 5-foot mirror on the opposite wall, staring back at me with her big anxious dark eyes that are slightly puffy, with a slight darker shade beneath. She presses her round full lips into a thin line as my gaze drops to her firm pert mounds. They are round, considerately large, with erect dark peaks which contrast her warm honey complexion that gleams with the soft effect of the candlelight. She is moderately tall, about 5'8", with a rather pear-shaped, slightly heavy body, which would have been considered fat if she was shorter. That has done nothing to boost her self-confidence, though. I still hate the way I look. Tearing my gaze off my reflection as I tighten my hold around my pendant, I push my legs forward towards the circle and carefully hop in. This is it. I'm doing it. Whether it backfires or not, I don't care. My life has no meaning anyway. I have nothing to lose. Halting at the center, I slightly bend to place the censer on the ground. My hand then reaches for my knife before I stand straight again, my eyes staring at space ahead. With the lightning that yet again engulfs the gloom of the night, I lift my hand, leaving it hanging forward as I harden my gaze. I call upon the great forces of the dark, I chant as I lift my other hand, which firmly holds onto the blade. Gulping, I repeat, much louder. I call upon the great forces of the dark. I raise the blade a tad higher before lowering it onto my palm. To hell with a goat sacrifice. My blood is so much better. With my brows slightly pinched together while pressing my lips into a thin line, I increase the pressure of the blade against my skin and stifle a whimper as it finally pierces my flesh, slashing through deep and fast. Swallowing the pain, I throw the knife away as I fight back the threatening tears that sting my eyes. Leveling my bruised hand with the censer beneath me, I curl it into a tight fist and let my blood flow into the smoke. I send thee, O great Scirlin. I abruptly tense at the feeling of the ground shaking as the most powerful thunder I've ever experienced booms. The air around the entire room shifts, for a sudden passing wind starts to pick up, and I have no clue nor a logical explanation of where it comes from, for the room's window has long been sealed shut. It's working. To the almighty Dark Lord, for I call upon all the forces in his control. Something strange catches my attention before all the burning flames on the candles are extinguished. I slightly lower my eyes to the ground, gaping when I land my gaze on the reddening smoke coming from the censer, and I inwardly applaud. It's working indeed. I call upon Lucifer, Beelzebub, Asmodeus, Leviathan, Belphegor, Mammon, Satan. I call upon the Dukes of the Inferno, Lord Bathrym and Lord Syrach. I summon thee. Wait, I frown. Why should I call a lowly demon? This might be my only chance to do this. Why should I waste it on a creature who's perhaps too busy out there to answer my call? In fact, it's my blood on the table. Why am I trying to bargain? Oh, fuck it, I breathe before speaking in my strongest voice, as I dare the most damned creature in existence. Lucifer, I summon thee. Hear my call, for this unfortunate soul seeks you. Please come to me and accept my offer. As sudden as the wind picked up around me, so did it stop, and all I can hear is the raging storm outside. Pinching my brows together in confusion, my alert eyes scan the room as a tinge of panic starts to grip me. What's happening? Why has it stopped? It's too dark to see anything. I can't even see the smoke anymore, for all the candles are out. Focusing on my hanging bruised hand that was shortly engulfed with the smoke emitting from the container beneath me, I sense nothing but the throbbing pain in my quivering palm. I shake my head, my brows creasing in disbelief. No, I mumble as the wave of disappointment engulfs me. Is anyone there? I twirl, finally letting my hand fall to its side as I pay more attention to my surroundings. Hello? I call, rather desperately, for the emotions I despise threaten to surface again. Something painfully twists in my chest and my hand shoots. This isn't something new to me, nor are these feelings alien for the matter. I just hadn't realized what a hopeless case scenario I really am, until this very moment I stand naked in the middle of all kinds of shit and still get rejected. Throwing my head back, I let out a loud, humorless laugh that matches the throbbing pain inside me. I'm one confused lady, that's for sure. What do I want anyway? Even if he came, what would I have demanded? Nothing about life sparks anything within me anymore. I just wanted an adventurous suicide, an exciting death I've been planning for over a month now, carefully. I know for sure that nothing is out of place. The only anomaly here is me. Sad, isn't it? Nobody wants me, not even Satan himself. I'm sorry, Iris, it just happened. A familiar voice echoes inside my head as a vivid memory of the man I loved with every fiber of my soul standing before me with nothing on but a towel flashes before my glistening eyes. His dark eyes hadn't a dust of guilt, but rather visible relief that I would be the one to end the lie that I emerged the last person I ever thought would betray me. The person closest to me. The person I shared almost everything with, including our very own mother's womb. She has a lighter complexion than mine, a slimmer figure, more definite curves, softer locks, and a prettier face. It had to be her, out of all beautiful women in Canada. Her. She has always had the hots for Middle Eastern men, and clearly my fiancé was no exception. I blink back my tears as I shake the gutting memory out of my head. What's the use of all this? I failed. Pushing my feet forward, I aimlessly walk from my spot slowly as I try to find my way to the exit. I know this place like the back of my hand. Not even the infinite darkness could deter me from finding my way to every inch of my very own apartment. Finally, reaching for a nearby wall, I shortly trace it, trailing my way to the door. Pausing with my hand holding the knob, I close my eyes and sigh. Why is it hard for me to believe it didn't work? Hello? I've already destroyed the circle as I dragged my feet from its center. How in hell would I flutter my eyes open as I twist the knob, pulling the door at once before slipping through. It's a good thing it's raining cats and dogs with all that ruckus. A gloomy weather like this would put me to sleep in no time, for it has always been my favorite season. I stroll through the corridor and finally make it to my room. Upon walking in, I hesitate to reach for the light switch, for why would I need it anyway when the only thing I want is to sleep? I shrug and decide to head straight for my queen-sized bed, tossing myself right on with my face deep buried in one of my pillows. Struggling to pull the heavy duvet over me, I toss and turn to find a comfortable angle before finally relaxing and burying my head on the pillow again. I fight back the chill that threatens to engulf me as I hold tightly to my blanket and sigh. I'm used to being lonely. It suits me exceptionally well, even though deep inside, something within me suffers with it. But in the end, there is nothing I can do about it. It's better this way. Just like that, I lay here, quiet and still, waiting for sleep to take over, and luckily, before I know it, as it feels like a couple of minutes forward, I finally fall into slumber. Sometimes, we fail to comprehend the arbitrariness of the forces so far superior to what our knowledge claimed to know. We forget that what was written in the past doesn't necessarily bind the ways of the future. Our insecurities and anxieties tend to blind us, pushing us to abandon our hopes and patience. But what's the use of all that when one is broken? You simply don't care. You just do what you want to do when you want to. A slight frown forms on my face at the feeling of something tugging my hair. It lightly pulls my braid and stops, and the room continues to maintain its still air, with no sound whatsoever except for a now light platter of rain outside. My eyes shoot open, whilst my fingers anxiously bury themselves in the mattress, grabbing a handful of the sheet's fabrics, as I fight to calm my peaking heartbeats. I can feel myself tense, for my senses start going haywire. The hair on the back of my neck stands tall to that distasteful feeling of being watched, and my mind consequently booms with so many theories, but one dominates them all. I am finally going to die. I am getting my wish after all. But something tells me it isn't going to be on my terms. Whatever it is, it tricked me into setting it free, and now I am utterly under their mercy. A sudden collision of what I immediately recognize as a glass with a hard surface nearby sets my body to motion instantly as I find myself jolting up to sit upright, with bulging eyes searching the dark room whilst my breathing comes out as pants. I remember having a glass of milk before I left my room for the ceremony. My eyes shoot straight to the bedside table where I left it, only to find it missing. Something tells me this is going to be painful. Hello? I stutter, still panting whilst my eyes search the room. It's too dark to make out anything. In fact, it has never been this dark before. It's pitch black. I nervously pull the duvet up to cover my bare chest. "Show yourself, please," I mutter as I gulp, my eyes fighting against the blanket of darkness that seems to engulf my room. My heart skips a beat when something is finally captured by my weak sight. Focusing on space far to my left, I eventually make out a silhouette slowly materializing by the wall, centimeters from the chest of drawers. I remain rooted, involuntarily increasing the pressure of my hold on the blanket wrapped around me while my stubborn gaze stays glued on the dark figure nearby. Glowing red eyes suddenly meet mine, and I instinctively suck my inner cheeks so hard to keep myself from screaming. Whatever it is, I called it. It showed, and now I have to keep my cool, or this would end rather badly. "Iris," a low hissing pierces through my perked up ears. I nervously gulp and nod, for I still have to find the strength to talk. I was weak all over. I couldn't even feel my legs. "How dare you summon me?" it hisses much louder, causing a cold chill to run down my spine. Oh man, I ticked off one of the bosses for sure. My lips part as I try to defend my reasons, but nothing comes out. Instead, a lump forms in my throat, preventing me from breathing properly. "How dare you?" it booms, its voice completely changed into a heavy, monstrous tone that almost makes my pounding heart dump through my open mouth. Finally, losing all the self-restraint I possess, I squeal as I drag myself to the furthest corner of the bed, shaking like a leaf. "Because I need you." I tightly shut my eyes as I wait for him to pounce, and just like that, it went completely quiet. I couldn't will myself to open my eyes, nor am I willing to move any part of my body. If this was the excitement I was looking for, then I'm fucking enjoying it. I can pee right here at any second. I'll take that as a fucking orgasm, for I promised myself over and over again I wouldn't regret this. The sound of heavy footsteps coming my way make me pause in my thoughts as sheer panic grips me. Why am I afraid? This is what I wanted after all. Why should I throw myself from the balcony while a demon can do a better job? Who knows, I might even come back as a vengeful spirit and have my way with, "Open your eyes." A sudden deep manly voice greets my ears, creasing my brows in confusion. I hug the blanket impossibly harder as I hesitantly flutter my eyes open. The first thing I instantly notice is the illuminating dim light from my bedside table. But that didn't capture my attention, not for a long shot. Before me stands a tall god, way over 6 feet, and I don't really care what inches he specifically halts to. He is massive, deliciously brawny, with perfectly chiseled features that shame the Greek sculptures. I couldn't will myself to tear my eyes from his beautiful square-shaped face, adorned with stubble-kept beard, nor the gorgeous green eyes under his dark arched brows which penetrate mine in a way the blanket wrapped around me feels useless. He has a straight nose, and don't get me started with his full plump-looking lips that instantly make me thirsty. Pressing my lips together, I slip my tongue through, for I can feel them getting drier with every passing second. This creature was indeed not human, for nobody could be that perfect. Overwhelmed, I lower my curious orbs to his robust chest and trail the outline of his perfect six-packs to Fucking hell, I freeze, my gaze lingering on his prized possession right under his lower abdomen. Could he have just put on something to shield that magnificent length from a sexually frustrated woman? I simply can't remember when was the last time I had a decent fuck, and now I have to press my thighs so damn hard to stop my tingling clit. There you have it. Seconds ago, I was shaking like a pathetic leaf, waiting to pee on myself at any second, and now I am a horny bitch that is lusting over a demon. A fucking gorgeous demon. Fuck, why didn't I just summon two, if I could only turn back time? Are you done? His voice, his damn velvet tone. Could this man ever be more perfect? His chords rumble in sync with the beat of my pounding heart. I try but I fail miserably. I'm so horny, and all I can think about is his huge cock buried deep within me, pounding on my G-spot mercilessly. Why do you need me? He asks rather softly, making me feel all warm inside. I lift my face, meeting his gaze yet again. That was indeed a good question. Why do I need him? Well, aside from him killing me and all, what do I want? I sigh. Well, nothing and nobody seemed to help. I actually didn't seek it. I simply shut down and lost all hope. Then this thought came. I want an adventurous end. Do you understand the meaning of what you've just done? I blink at his deep dimples as he talked. Raw fire slowly ignites within me, burning me from the inside, begging to be let out. The tingling between my thighs starts to become unbearable, and I slightly arch my back, grinding against the mattress to calm my burning need. I absent-mindedly reply. Iris, he calls in a warning tone. I frown, awkwardly scratching my thigh as I start to ponder his question, slightly feeling the haze of need subsiding. The meaning of what I did. Forgive me, but I only summoned. I pause, as it finally dawns on me like a 100-pound sledgehammer. My very words echo inside my head as I recall. Lucifer, I summon thee. Hear my call, for this unfortunate soul seeks you. Please, come to me and accept my offer. I painfully gulp, my eyes bulging at the man before me. My lips part as I try to form words that never come out. Why you? The side of his lips slightly curls as his eyes sparkle with amusement. I am a mess. I know. It's humiliating. Do you know the meaning of blood sacrifice, Iris? I've never been a good Christian. But who in their right mind would forget about Abraham and his beloved son? What's the meaning of sacrifice in the first place? It means, Iris, you've given your soul to me, free and willingly. He finally explains. I blink again as I digest the information. Blood sacrifice simply means offering. I thought by pouring my blood into the censer would make the spell get stronger. I didn't realize, I voiced my thoughts, that you were offering yourself to me, irrevocably. As my slave. Slave? I'm a slave? I've just enslaved myself to. I swallow down the lump forming in my throat. Without tearing his gaze from mine, he extends his hand towards me, offering it, as the ghost smile on his face continues to grow. Come, Iris, he softly mutters. I heave a sigh as I watch him. What was there left to do? At least he was being nice. Perhaps I'll have time to ponder about this later, but now I had to obey, gently releasing the duvet around me. I rise onto my knees and crawl to the edge of the bed where he patiently stands, his orbs fixed on my bare self. I reach for his hand and he gently pulls me out of bed. Finally standing uncommonly close to him, I try to disregard the goosebumps forming all over my body due to the feeling of having him so close to me. His hand gently finds my chin and lifts my face to meet his penetrative gaze. I melt. Now for your reward. What do you want? He rasps, and I feel the familiar burning heat from earlier. But now it comes back stronger and more intense. I press my thighs together again, for I can sense my pussy dripping down to my inner flesh as it clenches with need. This is how much I want him. This is how much I need him. He leans in, closing the space between us until our noses brush. His free hand reaches for my bruised palm and I tense at the feeling of his fingers entwining with mine. What do you need? He whispers, and I remain a prisoner of his darkening orbs. He tilts his head, lowering it further to my ear, and blows a hot breath that causes my legs to lose balance. Right on cue, he releases my chin and wraps his strong hand around my waist, pulling me against his hard body, caging me to the warmth I desired. The feeling of his big rock-hard member twitching against my belly causes the slut in me to break loose as I finally start to grind myself against him, my self-restraint long gone. I close my eyes, biting my lower lip in anticipation and pure need as I try to stifle a moan. I'm on fire, and he knows it. Don't be afraid, he whispers. Tell me, slave. I'm supposed to pull away after hearing that, but my traitorous body wouldn't budge. I don't want to. My free hand flies to his chiseled chest and shortly rests there as I concentrate on all the bits of strength I have left. My lips part. He nuzzles at my neck, sending pleasurable shivers down my spine. I want. My hand traces his hard chest as it slowly makes its way between us, sliding down to his member. Say it, he whispers as he presses me harder against him, making it hard for me to grasp his length. I let out an exasperated breath, and I can tell he is enjoying frustrating me. I want you. I finally mumble. I want you, I repeat, out of breath. Is this what you needed? He amusedly whispers to my ear. I wanted death. Death, and now I'm fucking horny. Fuck me and kill me already. Just fuck the shit out of me for fuck's sake. I shake my head profusely at his question. He pulls away from my neck and presses his head over mine, his eyes a mere centimeter from mine and his soft full lips almost brushing mine. You needed me, and now you want me? Just kill me when you're done, I utter. I have nothing left to live for. He smiles, taking my breath away as his eyes glisten mischievously. You have now, he says before finally closing the frustrating space between us and capturing my parted lips. The feeling of his soft lips against mine sets my belly alight with live butterflies as my entire body explodes with pleasurable fireworks. He gently kisses my lips whilst his hand releases my palm and snakes around me, caressing me in sync with his other while I wrap my hands around him as well and start kissing him back. The feeling of his hand grabbing my butt cheek whilst the other travels up to cup my breast causes me to moan with pleasure, and he takes the opportunity to deepen the kiss. Tasting him suddenly becomes an obsession, a sweet addiction that makes me match his dominating tongue, for the more I taste him, the more thirsty I become. I slip my hand between us and hurriedly trail it down to grab his hard member, and sharply gasp in his mouth to the size of his girth. He smirks but keeps on devouring my mouth, whilst I mentally try to ponder on the fact that my hand can't even nearly grasp his cock. This is surely going to be promising, the most painful pleasure I'll ever experience. My thumb starts brushing over his slick head and a brand new urge emerges within me. As if sensing my surfacing need, he releases my lips, as his hands immediately find their way to my neck and the back of my head where my braid falls to my upper back. He slightly increases the pressure of his grasp around my neck, whilst his other hand hurriedly undid my play, setting my curly locks free only for him to grab a fistful of them and pull me to him. I happily welcome his lips against mine for a much more dominating kiss whilst his hold remains tight around my neck. I moan against his addicting lips as my hand starts working on his cock. Using his juices as lubricant, I start rubbing his throbbing member while my clit stubbornly tingles, almost driving me nuts with the raw need of having his cock rubbing it instead of my clenching thighs. As if reading my thoughts, he releases me and twirls me like a Barbie doll. His hand finds its way to my hair again, yanks me hard and bends me over. My hands hastily land on the mattress, catching myself on time whilst a slight stinging sensation zaps my ass as he spanks me. Ah, I moan, feeling his hand caressing my ass, squeezing it as he leans over me and buries his face on my neck. Can you handle it? He rasps. To answer him, I grind my ass against his throbbing member but his hand abruptly holds me to place. First things first, he mumbles as he withdraws. Frowning, I begin to wonder what is he up to, but the moment I feel him kneel behind me with his hands pressing my butt cheeks, slightly spreading them, I begin to get the idea. I throw my head back and close my eyes to the tingling sensation of his sinful tongue as it begins slithering around my entrance. Shivering in delight, my hand shoots up to cup my aching breast and softly fondles it. I slowly start grinding myself against his hot, long tongue, and that seems to only fuel his sinful sweet assault. He spanks me again, a little harder this time, and holds me in place, restricting me from moving again. Behave, he warns, and a small smile forms on my face. Devil or not, you haven't seen that side of me ye. Ah, I loudly moan as I feel his tongue gliding over my sensitive clit. He skillfully twirls it over and pauses to dip it in my entrance, teasing my clenching pussy before going back circling over my burning core. This man. I squeeze my aching breast so hard as I start to feel a familiar pressure slowly building in my lower belly. Increasing his pace, his tongue continues assaulting my burning core while he sucks all the juices that drip from my aching pussy. More, I quiver. Don't you dare, he warns, withdrawing his tongue from my wanting core. I whimper. What now? Panting, I release my pert mounds and try to stand straight, only to feel his hands snake around my neck, grabbing me and pulling me up, sending me straight against his chest where he rumbles, "You're not coming until I say so," clear. A nod and he proceeds to press butterfly pecks along my jaw. He buries his fingers on my waist as he gently presses his cock against my butt and playfully rubs it over before releasing my waist. He reaches for his throbbing member and slips it between my thighs, guiding it to my aching clit where he slowly starts teasing it and rubbing it. My hands fly back to the sides of his rear end and hold on to him, burying my fingers on his flesh as I revel in the feeling of his cock rubbing my burning core. Faster, I whimper, licking my lips with my eyes closed. He obliges and rubs me even faster and harder, sending me further to the peak that I have been forbidden to climb. My heart pounds against my chest and I pant harder. My entire body slowly begins to quiver as the raw feeling of pleasure is about to explode into a new kind of bliss. Lucifer, I moan as I feel him increase the pressure of his hold on my neck, Oh fuck KK. He abruptly pulls away his C*ZK just when I'm about to fall off the cliff, and plunges it into my pies in one go, venturing to the deepest spot that no one had ever reached before, stretching me to the limit while his free hand trails its way to my deserted core and slowly starts swirling as I adjust to his painfully sweet surprise. I am going to ravage you, he promises mischievously, as he gently guides my head to the side, giving himself enough room to lean in and roughly capture my parted lips whilst he finally starts moving. Reminder, this is a short story. Short, addicting story, smile with horns how it goes. Don't mess with my mind, emo. My eyes roll to the back of my head. My toes curl as the flames of pleasure consume me. I further arch my back, lifting my waist a notch to give us both the best angle, for his movements intensified with the passing seconds, sending me to oblivion. He gently pulls out and pauses, much to my dismay, and I was about to whimper my loss when he suddenly plunges back in hard, making me come up sharply, gasping for air. Shish, he taunts as he slides off in the same manner as before and plunges in again, even harder. I cry out, clenching my walls around his huge member while his sinful finger keeps swirling over my bud. He groans, tensing as I disobey him yet again and start wiggling my ass, going in sync with his naughty finger. I moan, for the shivers of delight grip me as I feel him hit all the corners I never knew existed within me. His grip around my neck loosens. I abandon my breast and let my hand roam up to my neck, reaching for his wavering hold. I gently pull his hand off while releasing my hold from behind him. His finger halts his movements, and I painfully remove myself from him, aiming for the bed in a quest for an even better position. His hands shoot up, seizing me and spinning me to face him. He leans in as he pulls me closer, his hands softly sliding down to my ass and squeezing it. My hands find their way up to his chest, one roaming further up to cup the side of his handsome face. He pauses at a simple brush of our lips and my breathing halts, hitching in my throat. Trailing my hand to the back of his head, I run my fingers through his silky dark locks whilst I press myself even harder against him to feel his addicting warmth. A low, shaky, needy gasp slips through my parting lips as I feel him grasp my ass a tad harder, and before I know it, he lifts me from the ground and I hurriedly wrap my legs around his lower abdomen. I crash my lips onto his, senselessly kissing him whilst grinding myself against him, begging for his cock again, for my body screams for a release. He has been purposely pulling me from the cliffs of ecstasy, torturing me, and surprisingly, I find myself hornier, hotter, and thirsting for more. My free hand abandons its hold on his chest and slips between us, trailing down to grab his shaft and guiding it to my slick folds. I moan against his lips as I lower myself, letting him slowly slide inside me. All of him until I finally feel him hit that familiar spot he pounded earlier, triggering the pressure in my lower abdomen to spike. His big hands press my ass down, restricting any kind of moment as he gently leans back, releasing my lips. Now minx, you're gonna wish that spot never existed. With that, he gently slides his cock out, halts halfway, and plunges it back in, earning a loud gasp from me that he instantly claims with his naughty lips. He moves again halfway out and pounds his way back, hitting the spot that sends my entire body alight with immense pleasure. Almost painful, but mind-blowing and toe-curling. His assault gets harder and faster with every strike. He wraps his hands around me and rocks my world so hard that my eyes water. I abandon his lips, trying hard to catch my breath, and he buries his face on my neck, sucking my burning skin as I tighten my hold on his soft locks. I start to quiver, for I am climbing my peak so fast, and all I can do is moan, wrap my hands around his neck, and hold him tight as I shut my eyes. He moves faster, rough, with his balls hitting my entrance when he's all buried deep inside me, and with a couple more strikes, the building pressure finally explodes, and I drift into brewing tides of ecstasy. I cry out, my body a trembling mess, and he holds me tighter, his cock still hard, buried deep inside me, clenched tightly by my stiff walls as I swim in a pleasurable sea of euphoria. He waits until the quivering subsides, and my cries revert to labored breathing before he huskily murmurs, "Brace yourself, cat. I'm only getting started." I flutter my eyes open and blink at his words. Another powerful orgasm like that and I'll be sure to pass out. He slightly moves, sparking something that felt almost impossible a couple of seconds prior. I inwardly smile. With a cock like this and a man who knows how to use it, I lower my face and press a soft peck on his neck. Challenge accepted. He slides all the way out and in repeatedly, gently, and I bite my lower lip at the feeling of new sparks igniting within me. He traces one of his hands down to my thigh and presses it while his lips find their way back to my neck. They drift lower to my chest, kissing and sucking my skin, leaving a tingling trail behind, and I throw my head back, giving him access to a destination he has in mind. My roused peaks demand attention, and my erect nipples are gladly waiting for his tongue, which doesn't disappoint the moment it reaches for one of them. He takes it in his mouth and glides his tongue around it whilst increasing the pace of his movements in my dripping pussy. I whimper, burying my nails in his flesh as the familiar feeling builds up again. My eyes roll back and I hold my breath as he keeps pounding harder and faster into me, repeatedly hitting the same spot over and over again. I cry, I moan, I whimper as he roughly devours me, loving my chest whilst destroying my pussy. I gradually feel him stiffening and he groans as my walls constrict around him again. He releases my nipple and comes up, pulls me to him, and captures my lips with a low groan. His hold around me tightens as he pounds me even harder than he did before, and the sweet pain that comes with it earns loud moans from me that disappear in his dominating heated kisses. I'm close, I'm coming, and what's driving me even more to the edge is that he is climbing there with me. My toes curl as the waves of pure ecstasy within me reach the furthest peak I had never reached before, and I crash impossibly hard and intensely that all I can see are millions of stars blinding my vision whilst my body shakes uncontrollably. His movements waver as he finally shoots his load, his hold painfully tight, and all my walls could do was milk him dry whilst I reveled at the pleasant sensation of having him nut when buried deep inside me. I release his lips hungrily, gasping for air, and I hear him curse incoherently under his breath. When I finally catch my breath, his hold around me loosens and he gently lowers me to my feet, but instantly captures me for I couldn't properly feel my legs, causing me to lose my balance. He smirks, "It looks like you can't handle it." Not with the insanely powerful orgasms, not with that painful but toe-curling bumpy ride. I was spent, but strangely something within me still yearns for his touch. I wanted more. I want more, and it horrifies me. "But unfortunately for you, this is long from over," he rasps before he flips me and pushes me onto my bed. I haul myself on all fours and try to make a run for it as I crawl to the other side, but he easily beats me to it for I come face to face with his massive cock, pointed directly to my face, glistening with both our juices. I gulp, suddenly feeling the urge to taste him just a bit. He is deliciously big, rock hard, with slight protruding veins that call for abrupt tingles between my legs. I gulp, frowning, for my own body betrays me. So this is how I die. It perfectly fits the description. "I know you want to," he taunts, as my nipples start to throb. I move closer, slowly slipping my tongue out, licking my drying lips as I zero at his cock's glistening tip through my hooded eyes. Just a taste, I mentally tell myself. I reach for him and haul myself up to my knees, pressing my hand on his abdomen as I lift my face to meet his gaze. His hand reaches for my head and gently pats my hair back before he cups the side of my face, trailing his fingers down to my chin where they rest with his thumb playfully tracing my lower lip. Something in his eyes sparks while his thumb slips through my parted lips, and my tongue gladly welcomes it. "What a brilliant sight," he mutters, his gaze lingering on my lips before locking mine again. I suck his finger before he pulls it out, and his hand travels to the back of my head where he gathers all my hair in his big hand and holds it, a tad tightly. I tear my gaze from his and lower my face to meet his cock again. My free hand flies around it and holds it in place as my lips part and my tongue slips out, and just like that, I excitedly start licking the glistening cone before me. He heaves a low short breath as he slightly stiffens and I smile knowingly. I push my head forward, letting him slide in my mouth and stop when his tip is all in. With a swirl of my tongue I suck all the glistening delights before releasing him with a pop. "Damn it," he curses. I jerk his magnificent length up and edge closer to its base. My eyes dart up to meet his storming gaze as I begin to lick it all the way up to its tip, then down and up again like my favorite cone ice cream. He tries to keep a straight face but fails miserably, for some things are meant to melt even the strongest men, and I could see he was no exception. "Open your mouth, cat," he huskily orders, and I obey. I jerk my head back and guide him to my parted lips before withdrawing my hand from his shaft and letting it roam to his hip. I don't know if he'll fit, but I still want him to try. His hand holds me on place and he slowly pushes his cock inside my mouth. I moan, digging my nails on his toned thighs as I feel him getting further inside, until he couldn't anymore, and he is only halfway there. "Open wide, darling, I want to fuck your throat," he purrs. My eyes widen, and I blink profusely at him. "What, are you crazy? There's no way you'll fit, not to mention my jaw already hurts. Is this how he plans to end me?" He arcs his brow. "Well, how do I answer you with your dick in my mouth?" He smiles. "I'm not crazy, cat. Now open wide before I decide to punish you." That triggers a shiver down my spine, arousing me even further. Who knows what that amounts to? "Oh baby, I'll just open wide for now. Look at me. Keep your eyes up at all times," he murmurs as he pushes himself further down my throat. "Ah, yes, there's a good girl," he rasps. My hand drops to my burning core and I roughly start rubbing it to quench my rising need as he starts moving in and out my mouth. My gag reflexes weren't helping, and he mercilessly fucks my mouth, stopping only when I have to breathe and cough away. His both hands hold my head in place as he pounds my throat raw, and all I can do is moan while playing with my tingling clit. All the rules he breaks, all the lines he crosses only seem to fuel my burning desire, and as I keep playing with my bud, the familiar pressure in my lower abdomen begins to spike, yet again. He eventually pulls his cock out, and I remain panting, staring at my spit glistening all over it. But the fact remains, I still haven't been able to take him all in, and my throat hurts. I tear my gaze from him since disobeying him is kind of my thing now, and edge closer to his shaft where I start licking the glistening slime off of him. I wrap my hand around it and start rubbing him from the base up to where my mouth ends as I suck him and all the delectable pre-cum he produces. This man is simply exquisite. An abrupt rough tug on my hair pulls me off him, and his other hand grasps my neck and pulls me up, where he leans in and passionately claims my lips. My hand refuses to leave his cock and I continue to play with it as I wholeheartedly kiss him back. I follow his lead and love his tongue so tenderly, pouring every burning emotion I have, giving him my all as I enjoy his sweet nectar. He gently guides us back and slowly lowers us onto the bed. I spread my legs, giving him more room and his hard length, access to my burning core. I shiver at the contact, his shaft exactly where I want it to be, causing me to start grinding myself against him. Withdrawing his hold from my throat, his hand roams down to my aching breast, cups it and starts fondling it in a way that makes my entire body shiver with delight. Moaning against his lips, I grind myself even harder. I wrap my hands around him, caressing him, touching him as he kisses me senselessly. My hand roams up to his hair and I run my fingers through his dark locks, massaging his scalp as I kiss him back with matching passion. He pauses, abandons my lips and comes up to stare at me. Something flashes in his eyes but he quickly recovers. Panting, my hand leaves his fine threads and trails to the side of his face as I swim in his breathtaking orbs. This creature, the king of darkness himself, surely makes a fine lover. No wonder fornication is popular. If anyone gets to experience even a fraction of what I feel, then I would never blame them for falling into the clutches of this sin. This magical sin. You're beautiful, he breathes huskily, his eyes drinking me up, flickering with something that leaves me utterly breathless. My eyes drop to his soft, full lips and I gulp. Kiss me, master. My voice comes out weak, as threatening tears start blurring my vision. I wish someone looked at me like that before I gave up on life. I wish I felt this way with the first man I fell for. I wish he was that man. Perhaps I'd be a very different woman today. What hurts me the most is that nothing about this is real. What makes you so sure, he says, his hand reaching for my arm resting at the side of his face and bringing it to his lips. A slight frown forms on my face as I take in the scene above me. That hand, my hand, I gently pull it from him and flip it to inspect my palm. My lips part as I gape. Come to think of it, I haven't sensed any kind of discomfort since I glance up at him with utter surprise. You healed me, you hurt yourself to find me, he smiles. It's the least I can do, you've done quite enough. It'll be a miracle if I don't use clutches to walk again. I heave a sigh and try to recall a possible moment he did it, and it slowly comes back. Come Iris, he softly mutters. I blink, yes, but I offered my good hand. Now for your reward, what do you want, he rasps. He leans in, closing the space between us until our noses brush. His free hand reaches for my bruised palm and I tense at the feeling of his fingers entwining with mine. What do you need, he whispers, and I remain a prisoner of his darkening orbs. He tilts his head, lowering it further to my ear, and blows a hot breath that causes my legs to lose balance. Right on cue, he releases my chin and wraps his strong hand around my waist, pulling me against his hard body, caging me to the warmth I desired. I slowly close my eyes, letting the stubborn floods that torment my eyes flow to the sides of my face. I feel him leaning closer until his hot breath fans my face. He cups my face, and I feel him rub the staining tears away. I feel him lean even closer towards me, and before I know it, he presses his lips on mine and softly kisses me. Don't cry, cat, he says between his sloppy pecs. I smile, nodding profusely. He's right. I throw my hands around his neck and lift my legs, wrapping them around his waist, pinning him down to me. I shouldn't ruin this. He is offering me something I sought and longed for all my life. I should hold on to it and enjoy it as long as it lasts. Love me, I tell him, make love to me. I feel his hand travel down to my waist and hold me to place, squeezing the flesh in the area. He leans in and buries his face in my neck, sucking and trailing his sinful tongue all over. I moan, running my fingers through his hair as I press him impossibly closer to me. I want to feel him, all of him, and he let me. He slightly moves, and I feel him align himself with my entrance. I gently pull him up by his hair, removing him from my neck and push him down to me, crashing our lips for one long, heated kiss. I feel him tease my folds before he slowly slides in, stretching my wet pussy yet again. I shiver as I moan against his lips, my legs pushing him further down, making him plunge his cock all the way in one go. He chuckles as he releases my lips, and here I was trying to be gentle. It's a little too late for that now. In fact, I playfully look him up and down. It doesn't suit you. He smirks, the mischief in his eyes visible for me to see. He pulls out and plunges himself in hard, forcing a loud gasp from my gaping lips. Fuck, there now, he taunts as he moves out again and plunges himself into me harder. I whimper, me and my big mouth. His hand finds its way to my throat and grips me hard that it's almost impossible to breathe as he continues to pound the shit out of me. His movements pick up with every strike, becoming harder and faster, making me cry out for the sweet pain his huge cock inflicts, ignite overwhelming flames of ecstasy all over my body, driving me almost insane with raw pleasure. As he plunges his cock deep into my pussy again, he pauses. His free hand roams down to my thigh and pulls it off his back. I watch him lift it and place it on his shoulder with a small smile lingering on his face. Whatever this is, I'm doomed. He leans in again, edging closer to my face, and my eyes widen at the feeling of cock getting even further, poking the same sensitive spot he had been hitting senselessly moments ago. Oh no, I gasp. Oh yes, he playfully groans and presses a soft peck on my lips before he starts fucking me again. Eyes on me, cat, he says as he pounds into me, hard. I try but fail miserably as my eyes roll back in my head. Feeling the familiar pressure slowly peaking, I bite my lower lip, reveling at all sensations his perfect length stirs within me. Yeah, just lick like that. Oh, holy shit, he pounds the hardest only when he's close. He's killing me, he truly is. My face is all wet with tears I never recall shading, for all I can feel is pain mixed with intense pleasure that makes it all exhilarating. Who knew I'd be this into hardcore? Who knew bittersweet fits perfectly with me? My lord, I flutter my eyes, fixing my gaze up at him. Our eyes meet, and I take in his dark, storming gaze. He is close, all right. I seductively lick my lips, my hands slowly fondling my tits. Come here, feel me, I purr. He gives me a couple more powerful strikes as his eyes lustfully stare at me, playing with myself while crying out with pleasure. Groaning, his hand finally lowers my leg back to bed and he pauses, his cock halfway into my pussy. His big arms find their way to both my legs and further spreads them. Meeting my gaze again, he presses his finger on my clit and slowly starts to swirl while pushing his cock back in. That does it. As his finger picks up its pace at the same time as his movements, I finally find myself on a familiar cliff again, right at the peak. Breathless and somehow not quite ready to fall over. He leans in and captures my lips as he fucks me hard and raw while his fingers keep gliding on my core. And just like that, the pressure explodes into pleasurable fireworks that grip every inch of my body, making me quiver as I fall into the sea of pure euphoria. We both moan our pleasure against each other's lips while he explodes deep inside me. My clenching walls milk him dry, and our cum mix, some of it dripping out my folds whilst he keeps shooting his load into my womb. Don't pull out yet. Please, I beg him, my hands flying around his collapsing figure at the same time my legs wrap themselves around him. It feels like heaven having his cock buried deep inside me. Even if I ache all over, nothing beats the feeling of having him like this. He presses a lingering kiss on my lips before burying his face in my neck, and a small smile creeps on my face. I am content. I wouldn't complain if I died like this. I had an adventure, far more thrilling and gratifying than I expected. Now I am ready to end it here. He suddenly lifts his face and locks our gazes. There is a difference between selling your soul to me and offering it for free. I blink. Sure, you've been reading my thoughts all night. He smiles and I melt as I stare at his cute dimples. This man is an angel indeed, fallen, but still is, for nothing else can explain so much perfection in one person. Now that you have what you want, do you still want to die? He asks, and I frown. Does he mean the adventure? I am going to be alone after this, and nothing will change, except, well, I'd be easily triggered when I hear anything about him, and I'd miss him terribly every day I'll be sleeping on this bed. He smiles again, slightly shaking his head. Think carefully. I'll come for your final answer soon. I hurriedly shake my hand as slight panic grips me. Don't leave yet, I plead, my heartbeats accelerating. We remain staring at each other for a short moment before he speaks again. Then I should kill you. Please show your support by pressing the like button. How it ends 2 weeks later. The just risen sun shines softly on the city streets, bringing with it a flurry of early morning activities. I switch through the channels on the radio as I drive through the crowding road, trying hard to focus ahead and watch out for the tricky traffic lights. I've been an early bird for as long as I can remember, all in the name of avoiding morning traffic and getting my ass early to work. One shouldn't get me wrong. I'm not doing this for pleasure, on the contrary. Our managing director is a putrid asshole, and irritating his fat ass wouldn't guarantee a bright future in the company. Traffic is a major headache in almost all metropolitan cities. It's simply not a good excuse for signing in late at any job site I know of. A couple of minutes forward, my car swerves into familiar grounds and accelerates past the visitors' parking lot that stretches from the main entrance up to the front of the principal building. I eventually stop in front of a massive blue-themed skyscraper's checkpoint and patiently wait for the security to scan my car through, as usual, before they wave for me to drive on and I wave back as salutation. Finding a nice parking spot this early has always been a piece of cake. I drive up past the ground and the first floor, aiming for the second floor where my favorite spot is, and upon reaching there, a smile forms on my face when I find it open. It's been a week since I came back to work after being away for almost 3 months without taking procedural leave that would have also lapsed provided that our annual term is merely 28 days. I was actually fired, automatically, but their inability to find a good risk and compliance specialist to replace me played a big role in making sure I get my job back. I unmount the vehicle and stroll towards a waiting elevator, slipping in right in time, and I wait as it takes me to my respective floor and its doors finally open when we reach my destination. Hey. I salute the security guard sitting beside our floor's checkpoint as I walk out, and he smilingly waves back at me whilst I fish for my ID in my purse. As I finally pull it out, I press it at the door's lock security scanner and watch it automatically unlock, letting me through. I saunter into a massive corridor-like office that is divided into 3 sections for workers, 3 private offices for 2 department directors and the managing asshole, 3 meeting rooms, and last but not least, the kitchen. I turn left and stroll towards my department section where I leave my stuff before making my way to the kitchen to fix myself a cup of coffee. I stride past familiar faces, saluting as I notice some just settling in while others are already engrossed with their leftover assignments, which possibly had demanding deadlines. I finally make it to the kitchen where I walk straight up to the cupboards in quest of my cup. Short moments forward, my hand pours the final teaspoonful. Daniels, yes, that's my surname. I turn, coming face to face with the head of legal affairs. He's tall as I am, perhaps an inch taller, athletic, for he has always been active in sports, caramel complexion, dark military cut, and a cute face that makes him popular among women in the building. Yes, Tim, where do you keep your phone, woman? Joseph has been trying to reach you. Joseph, as in my boss, the director of my department. I don't know, I've been with it all the time. I just left it on my desk and came to fetch a cup of coffee. Well, you should have taken it with you. He playfully scolds me, and I roll my eyes. Remember the project you two have been working on recently? I nod. The presentation for the board of directors and the new CEO. Well, he can't make it. He breaks the news. What? I frown. His wife just went into labor, he explains. Perfect. I throw my hands in the air, exasperated. Just fucking perfect. Yep, you're taking his place, so better be ready. The meeting starts in an hour, he says, as he spins on his heels and walks off. Great. I heave a long, exasperated sigh as I turn to whip my coffee and walk back to my department. I haven't prepared for this. How in hell am I going to pull off a super presentation while I haven't properly prepared? I shake my head. It's not his fault anyway. I should actually be happy for him and get my ass to the hospital the moment I sign out. I press my lips into a thin line as I finally stroll into my department section. I aim straight towards my desk when I hear it again. Iris? I halt in my tracks and turn to meet the person calling me. I lock gazes with a pretty blue-eyed blonde who works as the managing director's PA. She stands in the middle of the entrance of her boss's office, dressed in a wide long-sleeved blouse tucked in a perfectly fit blue pencil skirt. Yes, Lucy. Someone wants to see you. She gestures in the office. I sigh. Okay, let me put this on my desk. She nods and disappears back into the office. I make my way to my desk where I leave my coffee and saunter back towards the company's asshole's office, as I wonder what could he want with me this. I walk into the office's waiting room to find his secretary and his PA having a hushed chat, causing me to arch my brow, for they seemed to be very much talking about their boss. They both stopped the moment they saw me gaining on them, and Lucy hurriedly comes my way. Is everything okay? Who wants to see me, other than the MD? I ask curiously. The CEO came much earlier than expected. He seems to have an element of surprise, for he doesn't want people to know he's already here. They're both inside, she says. Then why did he call me? She shrugs. Perhaps the CEO found out that you were supposed to be fired? I gulp. I hope not. I want my life back. I have a reason to live on and fight now, and my work is essentially there to enable me to live the way I want to. No job, no money, no nothing. Let's go. She guides me towards a specific door and leads the way in as I follow behind. We saunter into a spacious office, and my eyes land on two men sitting adjacent to one another by the couches, both in their fine suits, one in particular looking more expensive and exquisite than the other. "Iris, welcome, please come," I hear the asshole chirp, but my attention is far from listening nor paying attention to him. My eyes were glued to someone else, focusing on the side of his face that got more familiar with every step I took towards them. He turns to address the quiet man. "Mr. Damon, here she comes." The man nods but remains grave, never even once peering at the new party that was joining them. I finally halt a couple of paces from them, my widening eyes glued to the dark man who everyone referred to as the CEO. Well, I should probably start with introductions. "Ms. Daniels," the MD starts, only to be interrupted by his boss. "There is no need." The man finally speaks up and my jaw drops. He hauls himself up and turns in my direction, locking his gorgeous emeralds with my shocked orbs. "Now that you have what you want, do you still want to die?" His words kept crossing my mind ever since he left that night. He hadn't the least desire to kill me, and he left me quite confused. When I heard his question for the first time, I thought he referred to the adventure I audibly sought. There, I failed to understand the true meaning of his words. He is a dark creature, and those who follow him do so for their own selfish desires. He is used to people offering themselves to him for something else. Most creatures, mortals and immortals alike, seek him not because they're truly willing. It's their complex circumstances that force them into making deals. It was the first time someone sought him because they needed him. It was his first time having a soul pledge itself to him, aiming for only death, something that would make the soul completely his. Without the heavens' intervention, I offered myself to him, and he accepted. I told him I needed him, and he complied. I said I wanted him, and I wasn't able to walk for days after that. He listened to my dark thoughts and comforted me without my knowledge. He wiped away my painful tears. He made love to me, and mostly he gave me a choice to live again. I recall his simple words, the words that I came to understand later. "You're beautiful," he breathes huskily, his eyes drinking me up, flickering with something that leave me utterly breathless. My eyes drop to his soft full lips and I gulp. "Kiss me, master." My voice comes out weak, as threatening tears start blurring my vision. I wish someone looked at me like that before I gave up on life. I wish I felt this way with the first man I fell for. I wish he was that man. Perhaps I'd be a very different woman today. What hurts me the most is that nothing about this is real. What makes you so sure? This made me understand. Now that you have what you want, do you still want to die? I have what I want, what I need. I have who I love. Why should I die? A small smile forms on my face as my vision begins to blur. How I missed him. It has been almost impossible sleeping all alone without him by my side to touch me, to kiss me, to love me and hold me. He looks at me with a knowing smile, and I figure he has been reading my thoughts. He slightly jerks his head to the side and addresses his managing director. "Why would you introduce me to my own wife, Hart?" Thank you for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this telling story video, please do not forget to give us a like, comment, share and subscribe.